Covers are too expensive. I can't get a real editor. And I cannot spend $5 a day to do Amazon ads. We're not going to talk about mindset. We are going to talk about developing that perfect 2020 writer vision. Episode 119 of Horrible Writing.
That will never work. You can't push that. Seriously? Don't. Oh my God, that's really that's bad. You probably should find other hobbies. You ever learn how to stop? Be happy. You don't bother. I've seen better people. Do you really want to? And my third grade, get up.
Welcome to Horrible Writing, the rawest, most candid, in-your-face writing show on the interwebs because none of us have time to suck. Let's do this. Hey everybody, Paul Sading, episode 119 of Horrible Writing. I hope this finds you well. Can you believe the end of February? I'm excited. Why? Because I have a book cover designer who's working on the book covers for my first fantasy series. And those of you who've been following my news as an author know that I've been moving away from thriller and horror into fantasy. I'm working on a couple things actually to go hardcore at it. But this has been a long time coming, and very, very soon, very shortly, I'll actually have some news about those covers. If you're a patron, of course, you'll be the first to see them. If you're a newsletter subscriber, which you can do by going to paulsading.com, you'll hear about them first and get inside scoops too. So I'm excited because I did some networking at the 20 Books to 50K conference and, talked with the artist who's going to be doing or who is doing those covers. They're done by somebody who does book covers for a living. This is their thing. They know book covers inside and out. And this is me veering from what I've done in the past, where I've worked with talented artists in the past, but who didn't study the book industry, which is absolutely essential. I've learned because I can fall in love with any cover I have. I love my covers. But you all, not you, you're listening to this show. You're busy writing. You don't have time to read. But the book buying public has been lukewarm to most of mine, which is unfortunate. It's a hard lesson that I've learned and I share with you so that I hope you learn this as well. You got to work with professionals and that costs money. Same with editing. If you wholeheartedly do not have the money that is required for an editor to the point where you can't get any editing services, then yes, you're going to have to do some kind of swap with another author in order to afford those or save up the time necessary so that you can afford that editor. Again, working with a professional to put out a professional product that the customer, the consumer out there will respond positively to. That's what we want. Now, if you're a pure hobbyist, I doubt you're listening to this podcast at all, unless you accidentally tripped across this episode somehow, some way, and this is the first time you've listened. But if you've listened to more than one, you know Paulie don't play. This is a podcast for driven people, writers, authors, audio dramatists, those folks. It's all about empowerment through candor. So last season, in season 3, we talked about mindset, how you look at things and how your perception and perspective are shaped by the way you choose, consciously or subconsciously, to see things. I'm happy that the vast majority of the Horrible Writing Writer Support Group on Facebook, if you're not there, why not, and the horrible writing community in general have a healthy mindset about this, a healthy mentality and a healthy perspective. But there are some people who don't, and it's not that they're negative. It's that they're not educated on certain aspects of the author journey. So that's what I want to fixate on or discuss in this episode. Because if they took the time to educate themselves, or if they talk to people who know, they might actually see things completely differently, and that perspective will change. It will drive healthy, productive behaviors. And ultimately, that's what this is all about, right? I don't have time to have pointless, endless discussions with people who aren't going to do. I don't have time for that. I'm only interested in the big picture of things. I'm only interested in talking to people about writing who are people that will do, or obviously readers who will do. Now, I'm not interested in talking to those readers who only want free things. I'm not. My mind has been changed on that because I've been educating myself as I grow as an author and get more serious. I still have the plant out on Amazon as free. When I get some time, that may change. I may pull that down because I don't have evidence that shows that actually brings buying readers to my other books. And I'm not interested in loading up my newsletter with free seekers. I'm not. I work way too hard. I treasure my time way too much. I give up too much of my passions and quality time with the people closest to me in the world to attract people who expect me to give them stuff for free. That's why you don't see me in podcasting like I used to. And that's why you will see some changes coming with the audio fiction podcast. How much are you doing that? How much are you thinking about these things? And how much are you thinking negatively about these things when you don't have all the information to make that informed decision? Like book covers. I can tell, and I'm not visually talented, I can tell a homemade cover from a professional cover in the blink of an eye. And sometimes you can't even put your finger on why, you just know, right? And I'm not talking about, the 2015 self-publishing indie covers that were atrocious, done in PowerPoint or GIMP or whatever the hell it was. Even nowadays you can see, yes, there are onesie-twosies people who do graphic design for a living and they do their own book covers. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about people like me who don't have the visual talents, who still try to put their own book covers together. There's too many cover designers out there. There's enough deals. And if you're constantly watching the market, you'll find them. You'll find what you need. But it's about doing that instead of surfing Facebook to see what your friends are up to, getting in Twitter fights, scrolling through Instagram, watching just that program that you were watching. That's that mindset aspect of it. It's about creating that vision. If you're constantly looking at pre-made covers out there, not only can you get great deals and great auctions, but you also might find the perfect cover, or very close to the perfect cover, for a story or a book or a series that you're currently working on and isn't going to be ready for a year. Well, you already have a cover for that. How cool is that? I've already talked about editors, and that's just a non-starter for me. You need professional editing. If you want to be taken seriously, you need professional editing. I know it's expensive. Trust me, I know. But you have to do it. Fresh eyes, knowledgeable fresh eyes on that book. If you absolutely cannot, and I'm not going to fight any of you on this. You know where you waste your money. What are your priorities? Are you that serious about a writing career? Maybe you're not, and that's okay. But if you are serious, if you're tired of sitting in that cubicle, if you're tired of working for somebody else and them yanking you around, if you're tired about them screwing with your hours and your benefits and whatever it may be, and writing is not only your passion, but it's something you want to make a career of, well, then you've got to invest in that. And that means getting those professional services. But the one I really wanted to highlight, because I don't think that anybody would say these things if they were a little more educated on the topic, is Amazon ads. Recently, I did a 5-day challenge Amazon ads with a couple members in the Horrible Writing Writer Support Group on Facebook. And we took it through Brian Cohen, absolute master when it comes to this stuff. He helped me see the power in writing a good blurb and how to structure it. So I'm going to link his book in the show notes, Sizzling Synopsises, or how to write a sizzling synopsis. But that's one piece of the puzzle. You got to get people to that blurb, and the way you do that is by getting your book in front of them. The way you do that is by having, yes, a professional cover and spending money on Amazon ads. And the one thing that I saw way too often during this 5-day challenge, and I've seen it before, it wasn't just in that 5-day challenge, was people saying, I don't have $5 a day to spend on ads. That shows a big, huge, vast level of ignorance when it comes to Amazon ads. Now, before anybody gets upset or offended, look up what the word ignorance means, right? It's just without knowledge. People who don't read up on these and they haven't done them, they're not going to have that knowledge. So it's not an insult. It's not a slight. It's all okay. So everybody just come back down. Now, moving forward, here's the good news. You aren't going to spend $5 a day on your ads. Last episode, I talked about comparing those two ads, those A and B ads. And I challenged all of you to start building ads, 2 ads at 2 different price points for a thing you've got out there in Amazon. Novella, an anthology, maybe a first full novel out there. I challenged you to do that. And hopefully you have been. And hopefully by the time you're listening to this, you've been seeing some data, like impressions and hopefully some clicks, and definitely hopefully some purchases, some orders. But you'll also, if you're looking at your ads dashboard, you'll see Amazon really doesn't spend a whole lot of money, especially if you followed my advice and you bid really low, 10 cents, 15 cents, 17 cents a bid, and incrementally work that up, even though it's only been a couple weeks at the most, because you're listening to these episodes as soon as they come out, right? So you'll notice you're not getting so many clicks that you're spending $5 a day. Unless you really nail the audience and you're hitting your audience with exactly what they need, you would still be hard-pressed to spend that. Very successful authors are hard-pressed to hit their daily limits. Obviously, they set higher ones, but I know people who set even $10 limits who are very successful, and they don't spend that much in a day, not on Amazon. We're not talking Facebook. But the technicalities aside, it's that mindset. I'm not going to do A because of B, but B isn't even realistic. That's like saying, I'm not going to run and go pick up milk from the grocery store because I don't want to get hit by the meteor shower, right? There's no freaking meteor shower. My fear of being hit by a meteor while going to get milk is unfounded. all I had to do was check meteorological report, and I would have known that. And I would have been able to go get my milk free of fear. And it's the same thing with these ads. Understand what they are. Ask. Join the Horrible Writing Writer Support Group and make a post. That's what we're there for. To share that knowledge, to lift everybody up. And we would learn that, hey, I'm literally not spending $5 a day. I'm not even spending close to that. I might be spending $1 a week based on my ads and who's clicking through. And even that isn't what I want you focused on to create that perfect 2020 writing vision. Because while you're spending that money, that means that people are looking at your book. So your cover was good enough to attract their eye from sitting on their Kindle. They were interested enough to click on it. Good. Now they're looking at the number of reviews you have. They're looking at your blurb and they're reading that. And if they like those things, they're clicking through to download that thing. And if those things need work, then they're not buying, and you'll be able to tell that from the data. But even the mentality of I'm not going to spend $5 a day is wrong, because I've just talked to you about why. You'll never spend that much unless you really nail it. And if you really nail it, you ain't going to be worried about spending $5, because your orders are going to go through the roof and you'll be making a profit. And that's the other part of this conundrum for the I can't people is, if you did justice with your cover, if you worked your butt off on your blurb, people are going to buy. You might convert at 1 to 4, meaning 4 people have to click on that book before one person buys it. It might, which would be great. It might be worse. It might be 1 to 15, 1 to 20. 20 people got to look at that book before somebody says, you know what, that looks interesting. And hey, it's $2.99, let me go grab it. But think about that. If it is 20 clicks, and for the sake of my horrible math, you get 20 clicks at 20 cents. That's, somebody do some quick math for me. That's $4, right? So if your book is at $4.99, take off the 70% commission that you're going to, or the royalty you're going to earn on that, you're about breaking even. So you didn't spend anything. You just got 10, 15, 20, 30, 100,000 views. People are starting to see your book. You're starting to get that mind awareness. People are aware your product is out there. And those who clicked might not be able to buy right now, but they've got you in their wish list. You won't be able to know that. You could be sitting, the other 19 people could have you on their wish list until payday or their birthday coming up, whatever it is. You don't know. But you're not going to get that if you don't get into the Amazon ads game. And I just showed you why mathematically you need to. You've got no more excuses. If you have a book on Amazon, a novella on Amazon, talk to me on the side, talk to me in the group. Keep it low. Go listen to the last episode if you need to again. Make sure you're watching every day so you don't get any nasty surprises a week from now. But get into that ads game. Because a mindset that you lose money on ads is wrong. It's bad, it's dangerous, and it's stifling. It's stifling your career. Don't let it do that. All right, I hope this has been helpful. I always hope these things have been helpful. This empowerment through candor. Be real with you, you be real with me, and we all rise together. If you like the show, if you want some of my fiction, go become a patron. Patreon.com/pulsating. Or just go to the website, pulsating.com, click on the support tab, and you can see the different ways to support the show. You can also do that by leaving a rating and review. Go leave those honest reviews Even if you don't have time to type out a sentence or two, even the star rating will help. Of course, those of you who take the extra time to leave the actual review, that's the meat and potatoes, right? I mean, that's what leads people to giving the show a chance. Let me hear from you. Let me know this show is worth it to keep doing, and I'll keep doing it. And if it's not working for folks, I'll stop doing it. There's a million other things I could be doing with my time. All right. I hope this has been helpful. I hope it's got you thinking and thinking differently about Amazon ads. Until you hear from me next episode, keep being epic.
Transcription by Renzi Lee over at Renzi Lee Freelancing. For fast turnaround times on content writing, transcription, and editing services, email Renzi at renzileefreelancing@gmail.com.
This has been Horrible Writing, and hopefully after this episode, you suck less than you did at the beginning. I am Paul Sading, your host extraordinaire. You can find me over on the Twitterverse at Writing Horrible and over at paulsading.com/horrible-writing. Until next time, suck less.